not straight for a man to date a trans woman. To which you disagree.
That it's not.
It is not straight for a man to date a trans woman. So I guess cis man for you, I guess.
Oh, thank you for the clarification.
So not straight for a cis man to date a trans woman. How about that? You disagree?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. So you think it would be straight then?
Yes.
And then Jay, you also disagreed, correct?
Oh, that it would be. I think it would be straight for it would be straight for a cis man to date a trans woman.
Okay.
Because they're a woman regardless.
Okay. So my position would be that two males having sex, regardless of your gender identity, that would be a homosexual act. That would be gay. It would not be straight. And as somebody who is straight, I think that is to some degree offensive to my sexuality.
Do we no longer have to discuss that?
Oh, I'm happy to discuss things that I find offensive.
Oh, earlier you said.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was going off the hypothetical. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. So I guess my question to you guys is, you both say that it would be straight. I suppose first we need to define what is a woman. So what is a woman? Going around the table.
Gender identity or sexual. Like, are you talking about what someone's born as, their sex, or their gender? Because that's two different things.
How about I'll walk back and we'll come right back to that in just a sec. Is a transgender woman female?
I think if you're looking at definitions, no, but like, don't quote me. I think that's like a sex term.
Yeah,
I'm
sex.
not sure.
Yeah, male, female sex, man, woman, gender. Well, I'm going to grant that for the sake of the conversation. But so transgender woman is female?
Transgender woman
is male or female?
Again, I don't know if we're talking about identity or parts.
No, sex. I'm talking when I say male, female, I'm talking about sex.
I think in like a medical way, male. When you go to the doctor and you're looking for medical treatment.
Maybe we can just clarify the terms real quick, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. When we associate gender, we're talking about a self-set identity which revolves around specifically the idea of describing a phenomenon of males or females who don't associate with the sex they were assigned to at birth.
Correct.
Would that be correct for gender? Okay.
And then when we're talking that's what I think it is going off of, because again, I'm sorry, backwards brain.
But you would agree largely to those terms?
Yes.
That's basically what we're talking about. And then when we're talking about sex, we're talking about the biological association of being able to produce large or small gametes, XX or XY chromosomes, etc.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So then now you know you're not speaking past each other.
Yeah, and then going to you, so a transgender woman is male or female?
Oh, they're a woman, yeah.
But so transgender woman, I'll go ahead, just for the sake of the conversation, I'll go ahead and grant that a transgender woman is a woman, but is a transgender woman a female?
Biologically is what you're asking, right?
Well, I'm asking her.
Biologically, no, but identity, yes.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm going to have to disagree with you there. While I'm going to go ahead and grant that a transgender woman can identify as a woman, a transgender woman cannot identify as female.
Sex.
I'm talking about sex.
Great.
Right. So I guess the question again, is a transgender woman a female or a male?
Biologically, they would be male.
Okay. So when we're talking about sexuality, sexual preference has always been intended as referring to what sex you prefer. And so when we say heterosexual or homosexual, when we say homosexual, we mean a same-sex relationship. You would agree then that somebody who's transgender has not changed their sex? To you and to...
I get what you're going at, but I didn't know that fact, so...
Okay. But so, I mean, if homosexual means same-sex relationship, perhaps you can argue they've changed their gender, but you would never argue that they've changed their sex. So if that's the case, then a cis man and a transgender woman would be in a homosexual relationship. Would you guys agree with that?
Like based off, if you're giving me factual based information and you're giving me the definitions and you've proved me wrong, then sure.
Okay. And then for you, any thoughts on this?
I'd say yeah, because it's sex is your biology, and then gender is your identity.
Okay.
I just genuinely didn't know that, so like that's
sure.
funny.
But so straight is a short form slang for heterosexual. So you both disagreed that it would not be straight for a man to date a trans woman. Would you then agree that it's not straight?
Short form, but like by definition, isn't that the version that talks about identity, not sex?
Well, straight is short.
That's what I'm saying. I know you're saying it's short form.
heterosexual.
I'm telling you, like my understanding was that straight was referring to what you identify as, not
I thought the same
as your
thing.
sex.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Identity, not sex.
Okay, that's fair. Would it be heterosexual?
I guess not, based off definition. No.
Okay.
Okay.
And if we say straight, we mean heterosexual. That's what we're referring to.
Then I guess not. But like again, when it comes down to like what I thought the definition of was, I'm just telling you that's why I answered that way.
Sure, I understand.
I have like a little question. When it comes to like trans and stuff, so I have a couple actually things to say. So with the whole cis thing, I totally understand that. I'm like being like a little bit offended by it. Honestly, when I was 18, I was in a homeless shelter and it was LGBTQ, and like I had like a lot of interesting experiences, you know, and I just think that especially when it comes to, it's not every trans woman, but I think I've personally like experienced so many discussions that were like diminishing being a woman, and it makes you feel like, you know, like taking away it takes away like from, I don't know, it takes away from women. Like, I mean, I don't see really so much the people who transition to male like really interfere in that area, but I feel like it gets kind of uncomfortable when they like keep telling you like no, like they like undermine like what it is to be a woman. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't understand that because I don't. We change.
Maybe I can help give some words to this because I've listened to this phenomenon for a couple of years. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but if you were to try to describe a sunrise to a blind man, it would be essentially impossible, right? What it actually looks like in the encapsulations, because anytime you try to capture the essence of a thing, you always fall short, right? You can really only understand the perception of a thing, but capturing the essence of it is next to impossible. So when you're talking about the essence of what a woman is, right, you feel like perhaps there's something of a mockery made there because they're not actually capturing that essence. Would that be correct?
Yes, exactly that. Yeah. And then you know, they can sometimes get really mad when you don't use their right terminology for them, or like, you know, what their gender is, and it's like I think it creates so much just stress, and I just don't know. I don't know. It's been really hard the past couple years for me. Like, you know how some people use they them, and like when it comes to things like that, it's just like hard to change your vocabulary of the English you've been taught. You know what I mean? Like I can't refer to someone as a they naturally just because in like English language it just doesn't like fit in my head. Like, you know what I mean?
It's not
like
how you've done it.
Yeah,
personally.
Like it's, and then like we're all changing how we speak, and I'm just not trying to offend anyone. And I'm like, I'm all for like if you want to if you're a man and you want to dress like a woman, you want to be a woman. Like I just don't see like it can. I just feels like it's so offensive to. So
just
I feel like
be like
I'm a woman too.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it can be really overwhelming.
I think that's what I was trying to get at earlier. Of just like, I'm not here to preach that like everyone's in the right on the trans side or everyone's in the right on the other, like whatever you want to call it. Cis is the only term I have, so I don't really know what you want me to call it.
Yeah.
But like down to the core of it, I just think that like people can be assholes, and as long as you're not an asshole, then great. So like if you're gonna violently correct people, you are the one causing the conflict, and I don't agree with that either. But I just
I do have to move things on unless there's a really important. Andrew, do you have anything on this or?
No, you can move on from there. I was just though I was mansplaining a bit. I thought that perhaps I could capture the kind of the point of what was being said. Do you feel like I gave it?
Oh, definitely. I think it helped me put it in the right order.
final thing.
Sometimes mansplaining and that toxic masculinity is good, you know.
Final thing on this. It sounds like you've kind of perhaps accepted our definition, insofar like you accept that that's how we view it. But do you view it that way,
which
or
one?
do you?
I'm sorry.
For the straight thing, is it straight?
Oh no, I just mean like it's always to me been treated as like being a gender identity thing. So if I'm wrong, then I need to go educate myself. Does that make sense? Like I'm not saying like, oh, that's your opinion, you can have it, and mine's different. I'm just saying like I just genuinely believe that those were the two like differentiations.
Yeah.
So like if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong.
Okay.
I'm down to be wrong. That's okay.
Did you, when you said violence, though, when you said violent correction, do you consider words themselves to be violence?
I think that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. She was just referring to like personal experience and like people aggressively, or like I don't really know what else I can
Yeah,
use.
but do you
Maybe
consider
violent
words
wasn't.
themselves to be violence?
Say that again?
Do you consider words themselves to be violence?
No. I also don't
No.
think violent was the right word. I was meaning to say aggressive, so.
Oh, aggressive. Okay.
Let's see, Nikki. You disagreed that men are physically stronger than women.
You know, I say that because women give birth, and that's something that men will never be able to do.
Okay.
And that's really tough on our body. And
Different
that's-
version
Well,
of
wouldn't
strength.
that
Yeah, it's a different version of strength.
wouldn't
you know.
that be pain tolerance though?
Is it? Well, I feel like it's because, you know, we have
Wouldn't
to carry
that
this
also
child.
negate that trans men can be women? I mean, I'm sorry, trans women could be... Yeah, trans women could be women. I'm just saying. But anyway, go ahead.
I mean, that's all I have to say because, I mean, yeah, like
Well,
obviously
so
you
what I'm-
guys like have like different level of strength, and I feel like we
Wait,
have
but
our
hold
own
on.
different
I think I could probably make this super simple though. But like, you acknowledge that like extremely physically weak women can give birth and be pregnant.
yeah, like
Right.
like
The weakest woman in the world could get pregnant and give birth.
yeah,
Right. So what does that have to do with physical strength?
because I feel like we have to like carry around that kid for 9 months, and then we have to deal with like, you know, just
Just a
carrying the
different
kids
version.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different version. Like obviously, like I could never see myself doing construction like how these men do. So they're
Okay.
obviously stronger than me in that aspect. You know,
But men
Yeah.
can't give birth, so there wouldn't
Yeah.
really be like anything to compete over. Like there wouldn't really be a comparison there.
Should do a
Like,
period
do you
pain
think if
simulator,
men
birth
could,
simulator.
if like men would not, if men could get pregnant and give birth, like they wouldn't be like that's. I'm just confused, I guess. But so you're not when it comes to actual physical strength.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of just like a little 50-50 because obviously I would never be able to do those same work that a man does, like in construction. Like I know I'll never be able to
Okay.
do that same work that they do.
All right.
So